Intro. Yeah, let's just begin. Not much for me to say, just, I guess a little more at the end.
June 28th, 2564. Showtime.
We open up with another Darius monologue, staying into June 28th, 2564. We fade to show Darius and Wilburn looking upon Baxter, not even restrained. Darius has a monologue about interrogating her, and doing so without Wilburn's help. That's for the best. The dude used to be a cop, and he's currently a mortician, so, he's got the tools and the experience in his case. Anyway, Baxter begins talking.
I am evil. Wait, no, you mean my real name. I'm Lily Baxter.
She's great. Anyway, the interrogation continues with Darius asking questions, but Baxter goes on with her villainous tomfoolery, but not without saying some interesting things, such as her real name being Lily Baxter, and the fact that she doesn't even know what the Freaky Dex does, the device that she had, calling it a spooky device. However, she also reveals she has information about Darius, with Wilburn asking who told her. Baxter, of course, reveals Killian and the others. She starts talking about a few by name, saying, of course, Killian, but she also takes a nod to Matt and Blue, while the others overall are just too much. However, she also reveals the Skeleton Crew, explaining a faction that came along with Lewis, while lone members, they are powerful in strength. That and Shade had faced them a long time ago. Afterwards, Darius and Wilburn walk off, with Baxter talking more.
Oh man, I had a whole backstory planned out. Born to an evil dark overlord in a cave off the...
We cut to Killian, working on something, in fact his own evil ray. As he asks Vera to calibrate, we get a flashback, most likely prior to episode 1. Here we can see Killian and Baxter dueling, with Killian winning because he began martial arts doohickey. Baxter of course says it wasn't fair and they were supposed to be swords only. Killian explains that not all fights are fair, interrupting monologues, and even when you're trying to help, heroes will find a way to just kinda mess it up. In the end, we learn that Killian has trained Baxter for the possibility one day that she will fight Shade, helping her in hopes to stand her ground against him. Last note, before we move to the next scene, we should also note the armor in the background, clearly supposed to be former armors of Killian, something we'll talk about much later. We cut to Wilburn's office, Darius approaching him and Zero. Wilburn... Zero? What did I say? Zero? Good eye, mate. Wilburn is concerned that went too easy, and until they know furthermore, they should go on acting normal, as if this didn't happen. More so to seem uninvolved with Baxter's disappearance. I guess. I don't know. I guess so. I don't know how to write or understand stories. I'm the mind behind Sam's, okay? I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Anyway, to resume their business like normal, Wilburn was able to find an assassin contract for Darius to chase. One tag with a bunch of dollar sign emojis, and Halo credits being the reward. Darius asks who it is, but it seems like it was never marked who the contractor, that's what you call it, or the target is. They just know the target was found hanging around Tilted Towers. Zero pleads to go with, and the two sent off, but Darius plans to continue their search for Killian after it's done.
It wasn't.
Oh, it's Shade. Darius is pretty chill, especially after he starts getting shot by him. However, he is able to tell Shade that they can, begin searching for Killian once more, thanks to them having one of his people captured. However, Shade is unsure or just being a coward, saying that really, they don't have shit about Killian's whereabouts. Shade tells him that they seek his sword and may look for other sex toys to finger his lock. Wait. Anyway, in the end, Darius comes up with the idea that, while not heroic, he could distract Killian and they find him, and Shade could easily sneak up and, attack him and kill him. Bam, bitch. Shade, disarguably, agrees, and the two move off, returning to Baxter. Darius gives us a heroic one-liner, or monologue, as we see Ren seeing them, calling to Kaylin about their location. With proof, Kaylin moves the news to Killian.
Shade.
Okay, here's the breakdown. However, let's first go over Baxter for a second, who of course the episode is based on, since she's fairly relevant in this episode, where we nearly get half the whole episode dedicated to her. Or not dedicated, but features her greatly in. She's honestly great, and we'll get more of her throughout the season. I could say this at the end of after, these breakdowns are done, but can we just say how dope Baxter is? And her betrayer, Fowler DeMille, if I'm saying that right, it's just perfect. The accent, their voice, and overall just amazing portrayal. Fleur, am I saying that right? Is a big part of Life is a Table and good friends with Buck. And if you didn't know, they're the one behind those recent Life is a Table AMVs on Buck's channel. She also goes by Sugar Bombs, and she makes a few of these edits on her TikTok. Anyway, she's dope, and her portrayal as Baxter is just perfect. Okay, let's move on to the episode. We begin with the interrogation. Darius and Wilbur want to know what Baxter knows. As it begins, it's clear Baxter is... well, I don't know, she's off. She declares that her real name is Lily Baxter, and she's a lieutenant. Well, former lieutenant. This is interesting because who exactly did she work for? Unit C? That's really all I can assume, since the chances of her being formerly IPS or CPD or Chaos Syndicate isn't really high. So Unit C would have to be it, right? Well, by her look and by what I can recall, I assume Baxter's skeleton crew. However, later in the interrogation, it suggests that she didn't even know them beforehand, saying they came along with Lewis. Either way, her origins are for another video. For now, let's move on to what they learned from her. After Darius asks what the device was, Baxter nearly slips and says its name, which we all come to be known as the Freaky Dex. She herself doesn't even know what it does, calling it a spooky device. She of course also reveals her allegiance, Killian, or, well, the Diabolical Guild of Villains. Baxter says a few names, ones we all recognize, of course talking about Killian, but she also speaks of Blue and Matt. Blue apparently she never met, either because she just never got the chance, or her recruitment was post-season 3, where we see Blue for the last time. And as we see later in this episode, she's like Killian's apprentice, also evident that she's more recently membered. For Matt, whether she knew him or not, she was told of him, a member turned traitor, and good riddance that he's out of the picture. Out of the life, as we learned in the last episode. My god. Speaking of information, and definitely not because I forgot to cover this before going to all the knowledge of Blue and Matt, Baxter reveals information regarding Darius' origin, such as being born on a nothing worth of a planet to a sheriff who just tried to be like him, but something happened to him and we don't know. As well as growing up and looking up to Shade as a hero. Now, while it's certainly cool, how accurate really is this? We don't know anything about his family, aside from him having a father, sister, and a grandmother. I might be wrong on that, but that's about it. And based on what Darius says after, this information must be pretty good. But where did she get it? She of course says Killian, but where did he get the info? Sure, he could have done it himself, but I think the clear answer is Kaylin, who we've seen back in Do I Have Your Attention. He took some sort of interest in the whereabouts of his sister.
Second question. Where is Ms. Delacroix? Your sister, Mr. Delacroix.
And him being a snooping jester is not surprising why he would already have this acquired information. But I wonder why. Maybe he's just a brainiac and craves knowledge. Anyway, this is where Darius also learns of the skeleton crew. They come along with Lois, being a fair-sized group that lacks members but strong in skill and experience. By what I know, they're former members of Unit C, I think, though I may be wrong. We also learn that Shade has fought them once before, long ago. Let's get more Baxter elsewhere. We cut to Killian, modifying his evil ray because he's a technological inventor. He speaks to himself, or I guess Vera, but I guess just out loud like a villain does. He reminds us of him having the Tiki Dex from the end of the Heroes and Villains, as well as going over the teleporter that we saw in Abound in Chaos, deciding to modify its power output for more charges. Golly, I wonder what that means. Anyway, we fade to a flashback. Killian and Baxter duel, but Killian gets an upper hand using martial arts stuff. Baxter's of course. Wait, didn't I recap the scene? I already did that in the first part. So the recap already went through this, so I'll just get to the armor in the background. There are a few, as well as some pieces on the table in present day. The armor... Buck, you amazing bastard. I wonder if anyone else saw this, because I did when I first watched this episode, and I loved it. Anyway, the armor. We have a fuckus set, one close to the look with a piece missing, and interestingly enough, two white sets. One with a rogue helmet, and the other much like his, but white. So if you didn't know, Killian is actually formerly Unit C, and obviously something happened back then that drove him to evil. Or maybe was always evil. Again, it'll have to be another character video to explore idea about Killian. I almost said Kaylin. We cut back to present day. Darius meets with Wilburn in his office, which the doctor suggested proceed with their normal day duty, as if they had nothing to do with Baxter, in hopes to not be noticed by the guild. For now, Darius should resume his day. Wilbur find him an assassination contract, one marked with several $signs to be paid in Halo credits. Darius decides to go, but once they return, he wants to, chase Killian afterwards once more. Zero comes with. Now, since I've already recapped and we already know Shade will come in, let's talk about the contract. Why weren't the target or the contractor? Well, it really could have just been Ren. After we learned that he was given the job to find him, obviously Ren would have used anything to find him, setting up a fake contract to lure Shade in. And the fact that Ren is already there at the end, I say this is a good guess. Who can refuse such a contract? After all, Shade is the most famous assassin in the world, one that no one knows about. There, Darius and Zero find him. Wait.
Jesus, oh hey! The target is Shade! That's crazy, Rumi!
How do you know the target was Shade? Did he just assume he's the target, or was it Zero? Anyway, Shade notices Darius and fires at him, causing him to duck behind a jeep. Darius tries to talk to Shade. Fuck, I'm recapping again. God damn it. Should I stop recapping and just do the breakdown parts? Because I'm going to do them anyways in the mega breakdown video at the, of season 5 once I do all these episode breakdowns. Hopefully before 6 comes out, because when 6 starts to come out, I'm going to put an immediate pause on these breakdowns so I can stay live with that one. Anyway, after Darius persuades him and does dramatic hero talk.
If Killian collects these artifacts, who knows what he could do? Shoving up his cock.
Yeah, also thanks to Zero, they move out, where of course cut to Ren up in the temple messaging Caitlin. After he receives proof of their location, Caitlin says it in German.
Dich gefunden, Ren.
Thanks to Buck's captions, we can see he said, "Found you."
Shade.
Well, there you have it. Episode 3, Baxter, is done. Hell yeah. Okay, so ready for what? Which I plan to release on the 25th because that's the fan channel's 2nd anniversary. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next one. Also, shameless plug, why don't you check out my own channel? I do machinimas and stuff too. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't do that. I don't do shameless plug.